Hey, welcome back everybody. Crafty B, maker of things. Today I'm going to cast up the collet knocker. There it is, the finished product. And it works really good. Double burner today to get the party started. Sand's a little dry. Just going to throw a little bit of water in there, and you definitely do not want to stick your fingers right there.
So what I have found over the years, you can overpack a mold and then it actually gets more brittle and the edges just break away. So sometimes you have to practice. On the first one, if you pull it apart and it just crumbles, then you possibly have overpacked it.
Well, I think I'm up to video number 22 or 23 on my 30 video challenge. I challenged myself to get my YouTube channel up and running, and it's going quite well. Use some feedback though, guys. Do you like this fast-paced, or do you want to see things slowed down and I actually narrate through it? I'm not sure. I haven't picked a style that I really like. I mean, I do like to do the no speaking videos, but I also like to kind of explain what's going on too. So you could drop me some comments. I'd certainly appreciate it. Here we go. I'm going to lift it out, and you know, it turned out really good. The little letters can be a little troublesome at times to pull them out of the sand. I especially have problems with the A, but luckily there's no A in this one. The little center part of the A is a real bugger.
Okay, while we're waiting, it looks good. The font turned out nice. The hex is on both sides. Got my gating. I went with a bigger sprue and riser. So now that these molds this is a little bit bigger flask, it's quite a bit heavier. I'm going to transport it onto just a piece of plywood. It's got a couple little cleats on the bottom, and that helps to carry it like so, because when it starts getting heavy, and if you don't put a board under it, the bottom will just fall right out of it, and then you got to start over again. Rookie mistake. I did not check when I put the mold back together. Check this out. So we have this one and that one. Homie gets to do it over. I've done this twice in my whole career. All right, let's start over. Much better. There it is. That's what we're after, right there. All right, let's take a look at this bad boy right here, the collet knocker. I think for the first part it turned out, that's good cocoa right there. It turned out really good. I'm gonna cut it all down and clean it all up, and then we gotta cast the brass knocker on there. That's a wrap. Well, not all of them turn out perfect, and that is okay. All of this extra metal that's on here, that's just where the sand is broken away from the mold. It's not a big deal. You're just gonna have to clean it up after it's cast, and you have to ask yourself, if you're gonna be doing this, how much breaks away is going to depend how much handwork you want to do. If it's just a little bit like this, to me, it's not worth redoing a whole mold with hopes that it might turn out better. So for me, this is a-okay. It'll take me like 5 minutes to clean this all up on the sander. This sander had a top on it, and I took it off years ago so I could get to the actual radius wheel, and it really works nice to bust down this heavy cast instead of trying to do it over here. It works pretty good.
Oh, anytime you're sanding aluminum, wear a respirator. You just definitely do not want to be breathing in those particulates. They are so unhealthy.
Okay, now it's time to do the brass knocker. So I'm going to do the same exact mold that I did the first time, but I'm adding the brass knocker. I'll ram it all up. I'll remove all of the patterns, and then I'm going to set this one in its place and then just carve to the brass. So the brass will come in, fill around that. I'll put some prick punches in here slightly to keep that brass locked on there. Now I think it'd be in my best interest to prick punch this slightly all over, so when the brass goes and encapsulates this little part of the wrench, it will stick. The brass will melt into the little prick punch. So there's the one that I cast up, sitting in another rammed up mold. I've got a little sprue that's running over to the brass. The brass can't go anywhere but in that little cavity and go around, and that is what's going to make the hammer part. Make sure I put it on the right way. All right, do you remember this from a previous video? The broken hammer, and I've got 4 or 5 little ingots of the brass. Let's get melting that down. She's a little cold right there, but still gonna work.
I just didn't want to have to get into a lot of machining, so this really turned out nice casting.
Collet knocker. That's another fun one in the books. It is a wrench hammer combo to remove a collet out of a milling machine. Some of you may know what that is. Some of you may not. Doesn't really matter, but it was a fun project because I like making patterns and I like casting. So I made the split pattern, double split pattern here, cast it all up, polished it. It is a wrap. It is done. Hey, if you like what you've been seeing, hit that subscribe button. And thanks for riding along. I'll catch you in the next one.